There is a carrot that tastes like candy, and you can only get it by planting in the 1 month almost everyone writes off. That month is right now. Because here is what almost no one tells you about August. Most gardeners think the season is over. The spring crops are spent, the summer ones are tired, and somewhere around now, they quietly give up and start waiting for next April. That is the single most expensive mistake in the entire growing calendar, and it is not because they are lazy. It is because nobody ever told them what August actually is. It is not the end of the season. It is the doorway into the best harvest of the whole year, and the reason has nothing to do with the heat you plant in, and everything to do with the cold that comes after. When the first frost hits, certain vegetables panic. To keep from freezing, they flood their own cells with sugar, a kind of natural antifreeze. You taste that as sweetness. The same carrot, the same kale leaf, grown into the cold instead of the heat, becomes a completely different food. And this is not a folk tale. Scientists have watched that starch-to-sugar switch flip on, gene by gene, as the temperature drops. Cold makes vegetables taste better. That is biology, and August is how you get in line for it. So here is what belongs in your soil right now. 6 crops. Not 15, not a random pile of seed packets. 6. One of them tastes better every single time the temperature drops. The people who planted it in August are eating the sweetest version of their lives in November, off a plant everyone else quit on back in spring. And the very first one on this list is the fastest thing here. On your plate, before September is even half over. 6 crops, 1 window, open right now for 2 or 3 weeks, then gone for a year. Let us go through all 6. Number 1, radishes. Ask almost anyone and they will tell you radishes are a spring crop. Plant them in March, pull them in April, done. That is the myth, and it is the reason most people have never tasted a truly good radish. Because the gardeners who grow the best radishes are not planting them in spring, they are planting them right now. Here's why an August radish beats a spring radish almost every time. A spring radish spends its whole life racing against rising heat. You sow it into cold soil, germination drags, and just as the plant starts to size up, the weather climbs past 70 degrees. That heat flips a switch. The radish bolts. It stops feeding the root and throws up a flower stalk instead. What you pull is pithy, tough, and aggressively sharp. An August radish lives the opposite life. It drops into soil that is still warm, so it germinates fast, often in just 3 to 5 days. Then, as it matures through September, the days shorten and the nights cool. Everything that ruined the spring radish is now working in its favor. The result is a radish that is crisp, bright, and mild. The version most people have never eaten. And it is fast. Most radishes are ready 3 to 4 weeks from seed. Sow a short row today, and you are eating them before September is even half over. That is the fastest harvest of anything on this list. So here is what to do. Sow the seeds about ½ an inch deep, right now. Then sow another short row every 10 days into mid-September. That one habit gives you a steady supply rolling in all the way through October, instead of one big glut and then nothing. One warning. Do not let them sit. A radish left in the ground past its window turns woody and harsh fast. Mark the date. Pull on time. Do that, and you get what a radish is actually supposed to be. Cool from the soil, crisp, clean, mild. Not the tired, sharp thing from the store. The first and fastest win of your fall garden. Number 2, spinach. Most people think of spinach as a spring green. First thing you plant, first thing you harvest, gone by June. But ask a university extension office when to plant spinach, and a surprising number of them will tell you the same thing. The better crop goes in at the end of summer, not the start of spring. Here is why. Spring spinach is running a race it usually loses. You plant it, it grows for a few weeks, and then the days stretch long. And it is not mainly the heat that ruins it, it is the light. Once daylight pushes past about 14 hours, spinach reads that as a signal to bolt. It throws up a flower stalk, the leaves turn tough, and the flavor goes flat and bitter. Done. Fall spinach never faces that. You sow it now, into the tail end of summer, and it matures in the exact opposite direction. The days are getting shorter, the nights are getting cooler. That is the environment spinach was built for. The leaves that grow in cool October air come in larger, more tender, and noticeably sweeter than anything the spring garden ever gave you. So here is what to do. Sow the seeds about ½ an inch deep. If you live somewhere still baking hot, aim for the second half of August, because spinach seed barely germinates when the soil sits above 85 degrees. Give the ground a week or two to cool, and your germination climbs sharply, and reach for a slow bolt variety. Bloomsdale Longstanding is the one gardeners have trusted for nearly 200 years, precisely because it holds off bolting longer than most. One caution. Do not rush it into hot soil, and do not crowd it. Sown too warm, as many as half the seeds never come up. Get the timing right, and one planting keeps giving. Pick the outer leaves, leave the center growing, and it produces for weeks. Fall spinach is one of the best crops you can put in the ground this entire month. Number 3. Carrots. Here is a belief worth throwing out. That the carrot you know, the one from the plastic bag at the store, is simply what a carrot tastes like. It is not. It is the least interesting version of a carrot that exists. Because a carrot pulled from your own soil in November, after a few cold nights, is closer to candy than to anything on a supermarket shelf. And there is a reason the store has never sold you that carrot. Commercial growers harvest on a schedule. They do not wait for the cold. You can. Here's the mechanism. When the soil turns cold, toward 50 degrees and below, the carrot starts converting the starch it stored all season into sugar. It is a survival move, a way of keeping its own cells from freezing. You taste that as sweetness, and a single frost does not hurt the root. It is the very thing that triggers the change. Every cold night after that, the carrot gets a little sweeter. So the payoff is huge. The catch is the start. Carrot seed is tiny and slow, taking anywhere from 10 to 21 days to come up, and the single most common reason a carrot planting fails is the soil surface drying out during that window. In August heat, the top layer of soil can dry in a single afternoon. If it does, the seedlings die before you ever see them. Here's the fix almost no one uses. Sow the seeds shallow, no deeper than ½ inch. Then lay a plain wooden board or a piece of burlap flat over the row. It traps moisture through the heat of the day. Check underneath every morning, and the moment you see the first threads of green, pull the cover off immediately. For fall, choose Danvers, which muscles through heavier soil, or Nantes, which is about the sweetest carrot you can grow. Get those first 2 weeks right, and the rest takes care of itself. Sow now, and in October and November you are pulling carrots sweeter than anything money can buy. The version of a carrot the store never told you existed. Number 4. Kale. This is the one I promised you at the start, the one that gets better every single time the temperature drops. Here is the myth. That kale is the tough, bitter, virtuous green you choke down because it is good for you. And if the only kale you have ever eaten was grown in summer heat, that reputation is completely earned. Warm weather kale really is sharp and bitter. But that bitterness is not what kale is. It is a symptom of when it was grown. And kale has the most dramatic relationship with cold of anything in this entire garden. Here's what happens. When the temperature drops toward freezing, kale floods its own cells with sugar. It is protecting itself. Dissolved sugar lowers the freezing point of the leaf, the same reason salt keeps a road from icing over. And at the very same time, the compounds that made summer kale bitter begin to fade. So the leaf turns sweeter and less bitter at once. It does not stop at one frost, either. A single cold snap improves it. Every freeze after that pushes it further. The plant that tasted sharp in September becomes sweet after the October frosts, and sweeter still in November. This is not a story gardeners just tell each other. Utah State University's Extension Service documents it plainly, and the mechanism is well understood. So here is what to do. Plant kale now. Let it establish through the warm end of summer, and then be patient. Do not judge it in September. Wait for the cold to do its work. Harvest the outer leaves, about 6 to 10 inches long, and leave the center of the plant growing. Reach for lacinato, the dark blue-green type also called dinosaur kale, or red Russian, which is the most tender of the two, and the better one eaten raw. The mistake almost everyone makes is harvesting too soon, tasting that bitterness, and giving up on kale for good. That is a timing mistake, not a kale problem. Do it right, and here is your reward. While everyone else's garden is finished, you are pulling sweet, tender kale in November, and in the milder zones right through December and into January. This is the single best argument for planting in August, standing in your own garden after the first hard frost. Number 5. Arugula. For a lot of people, arugula is a love it or hate it green. Too peppery, too sharp, almost bitter, the kind of thing you push to the side of the plate. If that is your experience of arugula, you have almost certainly only eaten it grown in the wrong season. Because that harsh, burning pepper is not the plant's true flavor. It is a stress response. And in cool fall weather, arugula turns into something else entirely. A clean, nutty, gently spicy green that works on a salad, on a pizza, on almost anything. It is also the fastest salad green you can grow. Sow it now, and you can be cutting small leaves in as little as 3 weeks. Here is the mechanism. Arugula's pepper comes from a group of compounds it makes to defend itself, and those compounds concentrate in 2 situations: heat and age. A plant baking in summer sun, or a leaf left to grow big and old, loads up on them. Grow arugula into cool air instead, and pick the leaves young, and those compounds stay low. What you taste is balance instead of burn. So here is what to do. Sow the seeds shallow, about a 1/4 inch deep, right now. Harvest the leaves small, around 2 to 3 inches long, while they are at their mildest. And do not pull the whole plant. Cut about an inch above the soil, and it grows back for 2 or 3 more harvests. Sow a fresh little patch every 2 weeks, and you will have a steady run of mild, fresh arugula from late summer clear through October. The one mistake to avoid is letting it get big. An arugula leaf at 5 or 6 inches is a completely different, far harsher thing than the same leaf at 2. Harvest small, harvest often. Do that, and arugula stops being the green you tolerate and becomes the one you reach for. The fast, easy, almost gourmet leaf growing at the edge of your bed while the rest of the garden winds down. Number 6. Turnips. Almost everyone who says they hate turnips is telling the truth about one specific turnip. The big one. Old, starchy, fibrous, aggressively sharp, the kind that turns up boiled to death in a stew. If that is the only turnip you have ever met, of course you hate it. But that is a storage turnip, grown huge and harvested late. It is the worst version of the vegetable. A turnip pulled small, at golf ball size, from a planting that matures in cool fall weather, is not the same food at all. It is mild, faintly sweet, and crisp enough to slice and eat raw. Closer to an apple or a radish than to anything you were served as a kid. Here is why the difference is so extreme. The harsh, sulfurous bite in a turnip comes from defensive compounds that build up as the root grows big and old, faster still in heat and drought. A small turnip grown into cool weather barely makes them, so it stays sweet. Let that same turnip swell past a couple of inches and sit in the ground, and it turns woody and sharp. Size and timing are everything. And here is the part most people never learn. One turnip planting gives you 2 separate harvests. The greens come first, ready to cut from about a month in, weeks before the root is done. Young, they go straight into a salad. Older, you cook them down like kale or collards. Then the roots follow, sweetening in the October cool. So here is what to do. Sow the seeds about 1/2 inch deep, right now. Snip a few greens as they come. Pull the roots at golf ball size, around 2 inches, and no bigger. And if you want the one that has changed the most minds about turnips, plant Hakare, the small white Japanese salad turnip you can pull from the soil, wipe off, and eat on the spot. 1 planting. 2 crops. About a month to the first taste. From the one vegetable on this whole list you were sure you disliked. So there they are. 6 vegetables, all of them going into the ground this month. Radishes and arugula, fast enough to eat before September, is half gone. Spinach and kale, turning sweeter with every cold night while the rest of the world assumes the season is over. Carrots pulling sugar out of the frost. And turnips handing you 2 harvests from a single planting. Remember what I told you at the start. August is not the tail end of gardening season. It is the doorway into the best harvest of the entire year. Everything you plant now matures into cool weather, and cool weather is exactly when these vegetables become the best version of themselves. While everyone else mentally checked out back in spring and walked away, you will be standing in a garden that is just hitting its stride in October and November. Eating food most people have never once tasted, because you understood the one thing they never did. The season does not end in August. It turns. But the window is real, and it is short. These want to go in now, in the next couple of weeks, while there is still a full fall season ahead of them. So tell me, which of the 6 are you planting first? Drop it in the comments, and add your growing zone if you can, because someone gardening in your exact climate is reading those answers right now, deciding what to plant next. And if you want more of this, the real reasons behind what works in a garden and when, subscribe. There is a new one every week.